So I'm going to talk to you today about being a culturally efficacious teacher. What does it mean to be a culturally efficacious teacher? In our research, Riojas Clark and Flores and Riojas Clark, we have talked about what that means. A culturally efficacious teacher is someone who is culturally competent, but also has a positive teaching efficacy beliefs that they believe that they can impact learners' achievement and success. So let's talk about what it means to be culturally competent. Culturally competent means that you not only understand the communities in which you are working with and are serving as a classroom teacher or as a university professor, but that you also know about the community's social, cultural, political, and historical information that makes up the community, the kind of experiences that individuals have had living in part of a minority community as opposed to when they interact and live within the majority community. A culturally competent person gets along with community members, sees the community resources from an asset base rather than from a deficit perspective, and uses the children's funds of knowledge. They understand that knowledge within different communities is derived differently, that rationale and reasoning is arrived differently, and that people have different ways of being and understanding. A culturally competent teacher recognizes that it's important to bring in the child's knowledge, funds of knowledge, and as well as a child's culture into the classroom. I'm separating funds of knowledge from culture because funds of knowledge are the everyday practices that one engages with in the community. And here I'm using culture as a term we have two levels, surface and hidden culture, and so the teacher uses both the surface and the hidden culture that sometimes is not seen on an everyday basis. In addition to, the culturally competent teacher realizes that there's power relations within the classroom. So if the teacher is trying to control the setting, the environment, the children, this may be in opposition to how the children perceive their role as learners, their role within the classroom. So a culturally competent teacher understands the multiple dimensions that are in the classroom, linguistically, culturally, cognitively, emotionally, and also the physical environment. That's very briefly what a culturally competent teacher is. And for more research and literature on that, you may want to look at the work of Sonia Nieto, Geneva Gay, Gloria Ladison Billings, especially because she's one of the major gurus. To be culturally efficacious, like I said, is in addition to culturally competent, requires you to be efficacious or have a positive teaching efficacy. Positive teaching efficacy comes out of the literature from Bandura, Ashton and Webb, among others. But in essence, having a positive teaching efficacy is also two-pronged. It not only means that you have confidence in yourself as a teacher, but it also means that you believe that you can impact learning. And so you have these beliefs regardless of what external factors that are present beyond your control. In other words, you don't say, I could teach these children if they did not have all these issues regarding socioeconomics, issues regarding their home life. If you are blaming these external factors for your inability to teach, then you don't have a positive teaching efficacy. So the teacher who has a positive teaching efficacy, again, like using the notions of cultural competency, looks at what the child brings to the classroom and uses what they know, the tools that they know, and the skills that they have to be able to effectively impact children and their learning and their achievement. So culturally efficacious is much more than being culturally competent. Culturally competent is only the beginning. Cultural efficacy or cultural efficaciousness includes that positive teaching efficacy. And then the culturally efficacious teacher knows how to engage in culturally relevant pedagogy, which is another term that was often used and will be explained in another podcast. Thank you very much.